Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Thank you very much for giving us time today to the Education Watch Pakistan. We would like to know in very brief about this Sabah Trust and the background also, please.
I think very quickly, Assalamu alaikum. Sabah Trust is a very unique organization. It's one of a kind, not in Pakistan but the entire world. We started out with our vision is to help and promote the weakest of the today to make them the most powerful of tomorrow. And we started that with the yatim. Just like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has told us to honor the orphans. And that's exactly what we do. If their parents have passed away, why should they be treated like orphans? Therefore, we have decided and we treat them as we treated our own two daughters, giving them the best of the education of the both worlds. And one of our girls, in the morning, they have what we call Sabah Girls Peace Pledge to the World. It has 7 points, summary of which is we love and respect every human being in the world, regardless of race, religion or country. And then they continue on, inshallah we will spread love and peace through education. Now many people started talking about interfaith after 9/11, just a few years ago. I, Sagir Aslam, when I went to America in Sacramento State College in 1957, I started the first international cosmopolitan club. Wow. Where 25 countries joined. People joined representing 25 different countries throughout the world, representing every single religion on earth. I'm talking almost 55 years ago when the interfaith was non-existent. The end product, by the way, I was the first president of that club. The end product of that was that we decided to hold a gala every year. At that time, there were very few, Muslims or particularly Pakistani there. So we ourselves, for the gala, we cooked somebody whatever we could cook. Then some of us went and danced. Some of them sang just to for entertainment. And we raised, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's blessing, a whole lot of funds which we supported to students, needy students from all over the world, including America. So this was a very, very unique beginning of Sabah Trust. And then we opened our first medical clinic in 1965.
Where? Here in Pakistan?
Here in Pakistan.
Okay, 65 then.
Since then, there have been many, many things with Allah's blessing. We have worked in Bosnia, we worked in Chechnya. We were very much involved in maybe very minute way some of the Oklahoma bombing that happened in America, World Trade Center that happened. But I would say our help over there is only drop in the ocean, not drop in the bucket, drop in the ocean, because they have millions of dollars and we very little. However, we do significant. When an earthquake happened in Bam, Iran, I happened to be in Pakistan. We were blessed that we were able to go there and help them. In addition to that, last year alone, we distributed 5 full containers of wheelchairs in Afghanistan alone.
Wow.
We've done eye operation in Sri Lanka, Sudan, Kashmir, naturally Pakistan and other places. And in addition to that, we have done many, many, many other things which I will not go into detail. But the best thing we have ever done in our life is started Sabah Homes. I believe this is going to change the history of Pakistan. This, inshallah, is going to make Pakistan as one of the best peace-loving, peaceful, prosperous country on earth, because it is the human being that makes the country. Now, with Allah has blessed Pakistan with many natural resources, we have agriculture, we have everything. Once these people in the next few years, not longer, 10-15 years. 10-15 years to some people may sound like a long time, but if you look, 64 years of Pakistan, since we have started, where we were and where we are, I think 10-15 years is a very small time. And I think the end result that we already see from our girls, I already see a bright future, peaceful Pakistan. Matter of fact, I must share with you that I was so delighted and honored when people like Abrar al-Haq came here, and when he entered the building, he said, I only have a half hour, and in 20 minutes, I said, Abrar bhai, you are finished, thank you very much. He didn't want to leave. He stayed here, sang with the girls, and you should read in the book what he wrote. He said, Sagir bhai, and Abrar al-Haq is a big man, very popular. He's the Sahara Trust, he does a lot of things. His comments were, I want to do what you're doing.
Wow.
And Hamidullah Afridi came, ex-environment minister, and he said, Mr. Aslam, whatever it is, I want you to make me part of Sabha Trust.
Wow.
You know, that to me is a big compliment. Now, we all know particularly the British and England and Western countries, they don't go to small organizations because of the security. And I had met only British High Commissioner, Mr. Thompson, for a few minutes, maybe 4 or 5 minutes. I invited him. Anyway, he came here. You should read his comments. It was marvelous. So I think we are rebuilding. We are honoring the orphans. We are taking care of the orphans. They don't feel orphans. You go talk to our girls. They say, we used to be orphans. We're not orphans anymore. We have Papa, we have Mama. And we take care of them. We take them for vacations. We take them to go eat out. We send them to private schools. And we take them on morning walks. I take them. They have karate classes. But one of the best things, I must repeat, which I told you earlier, is Sabha Girls Peace Pledge to the World. And people should go on the website and read the entire Peace Pledge. And the second most important part is, when you walk into Sabha homes, the first things you see on the right hand side is the beautiful hand painted murals of the major worship places of all the religions. There are Christians, Jewish, Hindu, Sikhs, and naturally Islam.
Okay. So here's up then. As you mentioned that you have done a tremendous job and a lot of things. Why did you do really? Why? I mean, you were in United States and you could go all over the world and could enjoy. Why? Because there are millions of people, they are really sitting in US and then other countries, they're really enjoying. What really made you to do all these things?
I think it's a really wonderful question. I don't even know why, but let me tell you what happened. I had gone for Hajj, and after the Hajj my plan was to come to Pakistan, visit my family before I go back to America, and I got very sick in Hajj. When I came to Pakistan, I had fever over 104. They took me to the hospital. Naturally, the man came from Pakistan, man came from America, and we're a rich family, so we got treated like a king. Now, typically, anywhere in the world, particularly being from Pakistan, I should have been happy, right? I should jump in with joy. Oh my God, I got the first turn. Doctor took care of me. I do not know what happened. But when I walked out of the hospital, I was crying. Why was I crying? I got the medicine. I'm not any better. There are children, there are old women, old men. They're coughing. Some of them are maybe even really close to dying. Why they are not being taken care of? Why am I got the medicine, these people not? And I was just crying. I should have been happy, but I was crying. At that time, I had purchased, just to go back to your question, I had purchased 8 acres of land, almost inside Kumalia.
Wow.
I was too, like everybody else, going to make a big mansion, really big koti. Have 2 swimming pools, one for the ladies, one for the men, not a little pool, I mean a big Australian swimming pool. Have 2 tennis courts because I love to play tennis. Have jogging track, have a library, have everything and you could ever imagine. People say I built the best, largest, home in Pakistan. I said, forget it, I don't need it. Wow. We built medical clinic where average of 250 patients were coming.
Wow.
Let me tell you second part of it didn't end there. Since I was in America, I was coming to Pakistan 4 times a year to visit, not to visit my parents only, but to see my projects. We had many projects. We put water pumps, we built homes for the people, we built libraries, we built schools, we did anything you go to the website, we did microcredit, anything you imagine, and we did it. So what I said to my staff, the doctor, the nurses, I said, look,